Just a few days ago, we buried one of my closest friends. I remember standing there at the gravesite asking, why were we putting so much potential in the ground? I was having a conversation with my mom about it, and she says, listen, I know you're sad about your friend, but when you think about it, many of the things he set out to do in his life, he did it. He had a lot of the boxes checked: husband, father, nice family, kids, house, cars, had his doctorate in physical therapy, had opened up his own practice with a business partner, had 20 or so staff working under him, and on the verge of opening up another location. I mean, he'd done a lot of the stuff that many of us were just dreaming about. And it still hurts because at 37, it feels like he was just too young and still had so much left to offer. There was nothing that we can do. His life had come to an end, and we placed him in the ground. What's also sad is the fact that the rest of us who are walking and talking and breathing and living, people like you and me, we leave many of the things that we're supposed to use to impact the world buried. And I get it, because a lot of baggage comes along with this stuff. Someone said something to us in elementary school that still sticks with us. There were some comments in middle school that still loom over our heads. We never got in with the cool kids in high school or in college. We're worried about if people would even accept or embrace our idea. And we let all those worries, we let all those comments, we let other people's opinions pile heavily on top of the space and the place that we're called to make a difference in the world. What if I told you to take out a sheet of paper and think back over the last 6 months, 9 months, a year, maybe 2 years? Make a list of all of the people you've positively impacted. Make a list of all the lives that you've changed. Make a list of all of the people that you've influenced for the better. Just how long would that list be? Now, some of us would have to admit our list is not that great. If our list isn't that great, if it's not that expansive, if it's really short, then the question is why? And sometimes the answer to that question is simply, I was afraid. I was afraid that if I tried, people would laugh at me. I was afraid that if I took a chance, people wouldn't accept it. I was afraid that if I moved forward, there would be resistance. People may laugh. People are going to question. People are going to resist. But those aren't the people that you're doing it for. You're doing it for the people that need to hear your voice, that need to get a sense of hope, that are waiting for just one person to come along and make a difference in their lives. So in order to make this difference, it might not be a radical change. This might not be a quit your job, move halfway across the world sort of change. It may just be a simple tweak. I mean, because we're going to church every week, but are we really impacting people? We're going to work every day, but are we really making a difference in someone's life? We go to the civic meetings and the mixers and the networking events, and we talk the talk and walk the walk, but is it really having an impact? And if it's not having an impact, you got to ask yourself, then what am I keeping buried? Because that's the thing. That skill, that talent, that ability, that vision, that plan, that mission, that assignment, that book, that business, that conversation. That's the thing. That's the thing that the world is waiting for. That's the thing that your community is waiting for. That's the thing your church is waiting for. That's the thing your family's waiting for. And you got to be willing to dig past all of the stuff, all of the opinions, all of the apprehension, all of the pushback, and dust it off and show it to the world one more time. Take a few moments to imagine what life looks like on the other side of your success, on the other side of the nonprofit, on the other side of the ministry idea, on the other side of the book or the blog, on the other side of the new business, on the other side of the outreach event, on the other side of the thing. What does life look like? What do the faces look like? What are the stories that people tell? What is the difference that you make? And after you've had a few minutes to reflect, make a commitment to do everything you can to get to the other side of that success. Listen, as long as you keep your God-given stuff buried, as long as you refuse to live out the mission or to do what you are wired and created to do, as long as you refuse, as long as you hold back, you're going to be miserable. I know you're scared and worried. I know you're afraid. But do it anyway. What if you made the commitment? What if you said to yourself and to your small group and to your community, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, here's another assignment. Part number 3. Find somebody to talk to. Find a good friend. Find a group, a band of brothers, a band of sisters. Find a good therapist or counselor and begin to talk through some of the challenges, and then make the commitment for the next 30 days, for the next 60 days, for the next year. I'm going to commit to working on the gift that I've been given to make a difference in the world. And I promise you that at the end of the time that you've committed to, you will have clarity. You will see growth. But most of all, you will see at least one life change for the better. And if it only impacts one, it was worth it.